Hey everyone, Vintage Fan Collector here, and today we have a 2011 Craftmade CXL installed in Jared's room at his primary home on the lake.
Hello.
This is from a T-Mobile store, of all places, in Gun Barrel City, which is like probably 10 miles, no, not even 10 miles, probably like 3 or 4 miles north of where they live on the lake. There were 4 of these total, I think, and they got it for free because they were taking them down. Were they remodeling the store, or was it closing?
Closing.
Yeah, they were closing. And I didn't even know T-Mobile ever installed fans. And this was on the same download it has here, and he looked at it, he was like, this is literally perfect for my room.
Literally, Mom and I were just out running errands, and I happened to walk down to the old T-Mobile store. Or is it an old AT&T store? I can't remember. It's some old cell phone
You said it was
store.
T-Mobile initially, so I think that's what it was.
Okay, let's go with T-Mobile. And I happened to notice that there were people inside taking the fans down, and I was like, doink.
Yeah, I wish you got all of them, because I really would have liked one of these.
Alas, we didn't have space for that.
Yeah.
Because 52 inches of fan, fully assembled, barely fits in the back of an F-150 with the seats up.
Yeah.
Without tools.
Yeah, because this was fully assembled, of course, because nobody ever seems to be able to take fans down, you know, without removing the blades, like Marketplace, everything else. For whatever reason, people are just incapable of that. So anyway...
The blades are permanently attached to welds and I can't remove them.
This replaced a Harbor Breeze Springfield 2 that was having an awfully bad capacitor and everything else. And this actually did have a bad capacitor initially, but I replaced that last time I was here. And this thing hauls absolute ass now, as it always should.
It was already an improvement over the Harbor Breeze, don't get me wrong, but now it's even better.
Yeah, it wasn't optimum Craftmade performance, though. It was more like medium-high speed and stuff. It was definitely drifting, and this is from the era of ceiling fans where I almost said capacitors, which is true, where capacitors were not really that great. And this even affected Casablanca and a few other, and pretty much every brand was not immune to the capacitor failure. And this stretched from the early 2000s all the way up into the early 2010s. So it was about a better part of a decade worth of capacitors that failed earlier than they should have. And I happen to have a spare set of this stuff lying around, so I put the entire thing in, which is why the reverse switch is black. It was white originally, because during this time of Craftmade, they actually painted, for their white fans, the pull chain fob and the pull chain itself and the knurled nut that allows the pull chain to pull easier. They paint all of that to white, and the reverse switch is another thing that's white when they make the fans, and I didn't really feel like rewiring that and snipping wires and splicing. I already had the reverse switch on there, so I just plugged everything in and put it in, and it was so much better.
We can just spray bar it white if we really want to.
Nah, it doesn't
I don't
matter.
know. Give it the old Craigslist restoration.
Yep. The landlord special.
Yep.
So anyway, that's low. It's nice low. It's typical, somewhat slow but functional Craftmade low, and here's medium. This thing on high pushes about 210 to 220 RPMs. It pretty much is faster than the Delta 2 in my bedroom, and it moves more air, for that matter. I'm sure part of the reason it does is...
Seethe.
I know, cope and seethe, exactly. Most people can't handle that, but it's the truth. Ceiling fans are a strange breed anyway, because depending on the way the fan is installed, that affects air movement. You optimize air movement in an installation like this because it has more space between the ceiling and the floor to actually circulate the air. There's more, there's a better air box, as some people have called it, up above, so that it can actually blow more air. Most people don't realize that a flush mount or short downrod fan will not move as much air as the same exact fan on a longer downrod. So that's probably part of it, but these on short downrods still perform at level or higher sometimes than other competing brands, just because all fans are weird. I mean, honestly, it's one of the more inconsistent types of home appliances, even within the same motor size and all that stuff. It's hilarious how different it can be. Hell, all my K55 Casablancas, all of them move different levels of air, and all the ones with good bearings are just, it's weird. I don't know if that's because they're aged capacitors or what, but it's just how it is.
Who knows?
I'm probably going to balance this eventually, but it's fine for now. It's not a horrible wobble.
Yeah, I gave it a quick, 2-minute balance job when I first put it up. It wobbled a lot worse than this.
Like with a kit or bending the arms?
Bending the arms.
Oh, I'm talking about putting weights on it because that's how you really do that. And then here's high speed. The one thing that is amusing about all of the large spinner motor fans is that they do take a long time, usually, to spin up to their actual respective high speed, but they still, once they're going, they're going.
Probably all that inertia.
Yeah, I think part of it has to do with starting cap values, but also they probably don't have as much torque as other types of motors anyway. Even though every time I turn my decorative in my dining room on high speed from off, it twists the whole housing. And it kind of cranks it to the side slightly.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, it's moving quite fast. And
Power!
it really does move a lot of air. Unfortunately, this is the newer of the chunk housing, as Patrick calls it, but I just call it the new housing. This is the newer of those, in which it's not 4-5 bladed, so it has to be with 5, sadly. This is when they switched OEMs, because the motor actually looks a lot different than the ones I have, which are all from the early 2000s or the late 90s. I don't know exactly when they switched OEMs, but I know that my antique white CXL from the same time period, probably like 2011 or 2012, something like that, maybe 2010, it also has a different motor than, say, my old iron from like 03 or something like that. Craftmade always had that unique spinner motor with the cool step on the top, but this is just a regular spinner motor that everybody has. It looks the same as every other fan pretty much. It's just 188 by 15 still. And this is actually the same exact style of motor that they currently use on their CXLs and everything else they currently sell with the same size motor. So I guess they swapped OEMs. My guess maybe is an 06, but it could possibly be later than that. I need to check. Once I take down the Phoenix in the next room over, I'm going to take it apart and see if the motor looks the same as my older Craftmades or not. But yeah, this is a definite improvement. It's the same exact down rod length as the Springfield that was in here, and he doesn't really need a light kit on it, so I'm probably never going to put one on. The one thing I am going to do is give him a remote control, I think, is what we've decided on, instead of a wall control. So I'll put one of those Craftmade UCI remotes in so that it keeps consistent with the other Craftmade remote control fans downstairs in the house. And yeah, so definite improvement. I kind of wish I had got one, but I'm sure I'll find another one sooner or later. I mean, they're common fans. I'd actually prefer to have one that's 4-5 bladed anyway.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't get you one.
Oh, it's no big deal. I'm not mad at you for it at all. I get it. I know you didn't have any tools. And another interesting thing is that this is actually a catalog shown configuration with the kind of rounded square tips, which is not a common sight with CXLs in this era of Craftmade in general. Chance is actually going to get these blades, and he's that Texan collector on YouTube. You should check out his channel. I think he's been in some of my videos. But anyway, he's going to take these blades because he likes them and put them on his antique white one that he got. And then Jared's fan is going to have the pointed tip ones that are from Allen, which are old Craftmade pointed tips. So they're not the triangular tip, which I still like, but not as much as the regular pointed tip. So he'll have those. So this fan will change the way it looks pretty soon. But for now, this is what it looks like.
Woo!
Yep. So it's been a good fan. I think he's had it in here for like 6 or 7 months now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So he actually installed it himself. I'm surprised it hasn't fallen down yet.
Screw you!
I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a nice fan, and it really fits the room well. I can't wait for this room to be another color though. This just doesn't say Jared at all. This kind of light.
Yeah, you see that color on the ceiling
Turquoisey
that's
blue.
all around the room, and while I like the color, it is not me.
Yeah, and then this was furnished and everything originally to be a rental home for a little bit, which it was, but not as long as it was supposed to be. And so everything in Jared's room, minus like guitars and personal belongings, is actually not even really stuff he would have in his own room or that he even had at his old house.
But I would definitely have this mattress.
Yeah, you should keep the mattress, but that stupid faded washboard looking thing should go. And honestly, I miss the bed frame
to show them what you're talking about.
Nah, you're in the bed. That's weird. Doesn't matter. But yeah, and it's got good bearings still, which is better because it's only about 10 to 11 years old. So, yeah, and it has the era of Craftmade with the little house logo there. You see, the late 2000s, early 2010s, before 2014. Which I actually like that logo. It's kind of cool. They kept the blade shape still, but yeah, it takes a while to spin down apparently. I know some people like that.
She's
so.
dusty.
Yeah, you need to clean this thing. I mean, you can't really see it much on the camera, but yeah, it's definitely there. He probably doesn't turn this off very much.
Nope.
Although when I came in here, it actually was off.
Well, yes, but because I had been out of town.
See, I leave my fan on 24/7. Truly speaking, I never turn it off. And my fans get dirty, so when I noticed that, I turn everything off and then I clean them. I had to do that like 3 days ago. They were filthy.
Stop already. Good grief.
I'm hoping the AC isn't blowing it. Oh, there we go. Aha! Alright, we finally stopped. Wow. Alright, well, that's...
Oh, now it's going backwards. I see how it is.
No, it's not. It's not moving anymore. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Till next time.